All right, guys, we have a great one here for you guys. First time actually having more people on here than just me and someone else, but we have the Merce gang here, Danny and Dowd here.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
And guys, just go into it. How did you guys get into nursing? And then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, I became a nurse initially from the influence of my mother. She had been a nurse for about 5 to 6 years before I started considering what I really wanted to do. Like the lifestyle of a nurse, the 312s, 4 offs was very important for me. Just because as much as I do love my job, I also love things outside my job, work-life balance. So with the influence of my mom, seeing how she's able to take care of us, especially as a single mother, and the things that she was able to accomplish, whether it's house-wise or car-wise, and being able to take care of me or our family, really just from that, and having the ability to be able to work more if you want, work the minimum if you want, is also very important. So my mother was a big influence on me becoming a nurse for sure.
Nice.
It's pretty similar for me, actually. My mom also was a nurse. So I'm a first-generation immigrant. My mom came over from Nigeria. So she was actually a nurse in Nigeria, actually became a nurse during the Nigerian Civil War. So she survived her village being burned down twice, became a nurse, came over here, and her licensure didn't quite translate over. So she had to go to nursing school again. I was just a little baby. It was in Boston at that time. She had to get her nursing license again. And just seeing her go through that, it just really showed me how worth it is, because obviously she's working 12s, same type of deal, working overnights. We were, putting ourselves on the bus, me and my 4 sisters heading to school. But although she was drained as a single mom, she was very fulfilled. Like, she found like great pride in doing that. And it really just translated into me and my sisters. So we're all in the nursing realm. I have a sister who's a nurse practitioner. One's a nurse for a government organization. One's now a medical lawyer, used to be a nurse. My little sister just graduated nursing school, and then I'm a nurse as well. So it just became a family trait, and just showed me I really have no excuse. I have to do everything. Like, I have to do as much as I can in the nursing realm. She did it as an immigrant, single mom, 5 kids. I have no excuse, right? So,
Dang, that's awesome, because like talking about all our moms here, my mom's a nurse too. So we got Mother Days coming up. So big ups to all the moms out here that are working hard for their kids.
Moms make the best nurses, bro.
Exactly.
That's true, but they also they can be strict.
Yeah.
But like,
what type of nurse is your mom?
My mom was she retired a few years ago. She was a PACU nurse.
Okay.
And my wife is a mom too. So, and she's an oncology nurse. So.
Wow.
All that.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Then my brother's a nurse. He's an educator, and my dad used to be an oncology nurse too. So
this is crazy.
All group, man.
It's crazy. Man.
But like Filipinos, that's all we know.
You guys kill it on the floor. When I see a Filipino on the floor, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a good night. Work is gonna get done. I love it. I love it, man.
So,
and that.
Oh shoot! What's up with it? Hold on, the Wi-Fi is hitting up real quick.
It kind of froze there.
Yeah, froze there for a second. I can always clip that.
Back. We good?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah. You had a question or something?
Oh, I'm saying that really shows that what I think about nursing, that it's more of a passion. People are like, I got into nursing to help and stuff, and to better the world, and that's great. But there's many ways to do that, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to have a specific passion for nursing to make it, or else it'll eat you up. It'll burn you alive. So seeing how it goes from generation to generation, wife to husband, it shows that like it really is a passion, and you got to pick it up and generate that within yourself. So that's dope.
Oh, 100%. And how long have you guys been nurses?
Only about like a year.
Oh, about a year, both of us. Yeah.
You guys graduated the same time? You guys were classmates?
Yeah, we went to nursing school together.
Same time. Yep.
So how many guys were in your class?
Like 4.
Like
4 out of like 30.
Yeah.
Man. So we just hit it off immediately. So I was like, yeah, man, let's see how far we can take this thing. Started doing content during nursing school and just ran with it, man. So.
And what was your guys' background before you guys went into nursing?
So my background, I went to Randolph-Macon College for 1 year before, right before I went into nursing school. I was into basketball. I went there for basketball. Played there for about a year. And then I went, to a nursing school, ECPI University in Manassas, because I wanted to kind of make sure I do accomplish what I need to accomplish to be able to, hold my own when I move out or get an apartment or whatever it is. So I kind of wanted to get a head start. So I just left the first year, went into nursing school. So my history is kind of short, that one.
Yeah, so I was actually in the Air Force, and I was a young man. I joined, I was like 17. I was young, gung-ho. I went to special operations, actually not medicine. I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do forever. I want to be a hero. Cool, awesome. Then I had a mentor sit me down. He's like, hey, this specific sector of special operations, it's a young man's game. You're deploying, your family life isn't that great. You're always going on missions and whatnot. I saw, like, he really poured into me. He's like, I saw during our survival medicine portion, you did really good in that. You excelled in it. Do you have a background in that? And I'm like, actually, like we just talked about, my whole dang family. But I try to avoid it, being a rebellious young man. I'm like, I don't want to do it. My mom's trying to make me, I don't want to. Come to find out, it's the best thing I ever did. And then I cross-trained into being a flight medicine technician, fell in love with it. And I was like, okay, I love taking care of my patients, but I want to have a greater scope of care for them, a greater autonomy. And of course, nursing was the next step. So,
dang. So also thank you for your service.
appreciate
And
it,
bro, I wish I was tall enough to play basketball, but I love basketball, dude. I see you in your videos. You tall as heck, bro.
I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna be up there.
So even though we went into like why you went to nursing, as masculine dudes, did anyone give you trouble for like, hey man, why nursing? Why are you going into like a woman's field?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So people do look at you a little weird, especially us being males. But at the same time, we do offer different things. They also see, especially when I go into my unit, or even when we were in our classroom, we were able to help in different ways. Women are so great at what they do, but then there are certain things they do want a male figure in the room, or to kind of deal with the situation, because honestly, it does make a difference sometimes. So, we kind of help each other out with that in the hospital realm.
Yeah. I think, sometimes it's like, it's like 90% female. So sometimes we do get that, what are you guys doing here? Did you fail out of being a doctor or whatever? Like, no, this is our choice, right? There's proud, strong men in nursing. But also, of course, it's important to understand kind of, the female mind. Majority of our coworkers are female. So I think, being raised by single moms and, having 4 sisters really helps with that. So we're still, masculine, but we understand kind of the female aspect of it, because you're dealing with all sorts of patients. And of course, your coworkers are not oftentimes male. So it's important to understand that. So,
and also I want to add, I think it's important that we do show all 3 of us being nurses, that it isn't just a female field, and that we do need more men in the field as well to help out and bring what they're good at to the floor as well. So I think that's important.
Oh, 100%. And when I was on the units that I worked on before where I'm at now, like you said, 99% females. And then once I got to like procedural areas, then it's like complete reversal, like 80% dudes where you're just like, all right, let's just get work done and just hang out. Like, it's a total different mindset. So what units are you guys working on? What kind of specialties?
So first year I started at urgent care for a company called Patient First. I worked all throughout the Northern Virginia region. I just recently started a job in the neuro IMC unit in Inova, Fairfax. So like I said, I'm in the beginning stages of that one. So that's going to be a lot of new experiences for me. But I'm very excited. I'm ready to learn. In urgent care, you don't really use as many skills as you learned in school, and you can tend to forget a little bit because if you don't practice, you'll forget. So very excited to go into neuro IMC and be able to kind of become a better nurse.
But muscle memory, you'll get it back. Muscle memory. So I'm actually in cardiac ICU, cardiovascular ICU. So my patients are post-interventional from cardiac surgery. So a lot of bypasses and valve surgeries. As far as ICUs go, it's a little bit different. It's a lot more uplifting because you're seeing your patients post-intervention. You're expecting them to survive. You're expecting them to have a better quality of life. Whereas, other ICUs, it's like this person can tank at any time. This person, could, God forbid, pass at any time. And it's still very much possible in cardiovascular ICU, but by nature of the surgery, they should be getting better. So it should be a happy story. And then I just recently cross-trained to PICU, pediatric ICU as well, which is a completely different world. Went from like serious hearts and surgeons in there to like, hey, you want a popsicle? Like, so it's like completely different. And I always swore up and down I never do anything pediatric because I do love kids. And I'm like, just seeing like a child in the hospital bed, pent up, I'm like, that would break me. And it's still tough, but seeing that I'm able to help them is what's super rewarding. So it's just two different sides of the spectrum, and I work them both in the same week. And it kind of helps my practice in each one. I have some teenagers that are not compliant, and I'm like, hey, I'm working with adults who are getting cardiac surgery who lived a whole life of not being compliant, of making bad choices. I don't want to be seeing you on the third floor. Okay. I'm seeing you now, pediatric floor. I don't want to be seeing you there later. So let's nip this in the bud now. So it kind of helps my practice seeing both ends of the spectrum. It's pretty cool. So
was that forced on you, or you chose to do PICU?
No, that forced on you. Everyone thinks that. I was offered it. I have a blessing of having like a really great director. And she knows I'm in NP school. So she was like, well, let's, do you want to try this? They need help. And she let me float one day, and the rest is history. I loved it. So
since you just touched on NP school, why did you go into NP school instead of CRNA? Because most CT ICU nurses are just like, yo, let me get my 1 year, 2 year experience and make the big bucks.
Yeah, everyone does think that, and kudos to them. That's a whole robust program to be going through, and I definitely respect that practice. But for me, as far as being behind the apron on surgeries, that's not really something. I got the chance to sit on surgeries, and that's not really something that I think would fulfill me. Definitely, it's sensitive. It's obviously a great level of care, and they do of course intubations and stuff. But I want to be like an ICC, managing the floors, face to face with the patients consistently, there for the codes, things like that. So just being a nurse practitioner, and then the flexibility. You can be like in different specialties in the ICU, like the ones we just named and stuff. But if you're an anesthetist or CRNA, it's kind of like, pretty similar stuff daily, which is good. You're the master of what you do. But I want to be able to see different things and kind of walk my patient from beginning to end. So,
and Dowd, do you have any thoughts of grad school?
So yes, I do want to go into CRNA school.
There you go.
So,
I mean, that's cool.
So I am, like I said, I'm starting in the neuro-IMC. It's right there on the same floor as the ICU there at Inova Fairfax. So I plan to do about a year or so in the neuro, go over to ICU, and like you said, the year or two experience, and try to get into that school and see what I can do. So that's the goal now. Yeah.
Nice. Because I just had some CRNAs. I also had some NPs already on here, and just similar talks. They're like, yeah, for NP, you could go into all different specialties. CRNAs, yeah, you're stuck with your anesthesia surgery, but you could also become very financially independent.
Money. Yeah. Oh yeah. Very jelly. What about you, man? What's next for you? I mean, I know you're doing so much.
Dude, I'm an NP dropout, man.
Okay. He said proud.
No, quick backstory is that, so I live in New York, and I went to the first NP school that got accepted to. And then I only applied because I hated the floor that I was on. And I was like, that's my way out. So I applied to it. But I did it like the slow route. If I just finished like part-time in like 2-3 years, I probably would be practicing as one. Right. But I was like, let me just do like one class. And then it came to this stupid research class that I was like, just let me do clinicals. And I love that. Let me use skills. Let me do that.
Right.
But when it came down to the paperwork, I was like, man, this ain't it. And then I started really like shadowing and doing all my clinicals with some of the NPs in my hospital that I work at. And I was like, they are work to the bone. I was like, when I could just be a good old RN, regular nurse out here, right? Regular nurse out here, do my job, do it well, go home and not have to worry about anyone calling me at the end of the day. And
That's
then
fair.
and so like I end up being like, I don't think it's for me. I'm not sure. I don't think it's for me, but still open because they still have enough time to potentially go back because I'm almost done. And people are like, yeah, just finish it and we could figure it out from there, especially with all the new fields opening up for NPs and all that. So it's not bad, but I don't know how the pay is down there where you guys are in Virginia. So in New York, it's slowly creeping up to California type money where like, so NPs here in the hospital I work at, you have to work 4 10s, but you're usually there longer and they're kind of skimpy on giving you that OT. But for nurses, they'll throw as much OT as you as possible. So if I wanted to work if I wanted to work the 4th shift, that's time and a half, and I don't have to pay for DA, NPI number, any of that. And so all that money goes to me. And if you do the math, you're pretty much making the same or even more as a regular nurse.
So gotta figure it out.
But and what I'm doing right now fulfills me a lot. So let's throw that there. And like I said, I'm in a procedural area. It's one patient at a time, hanging out with a bunch of the homies there, and then just get the work done, and that's it.
Do you guys utilize NPs there?
We do. We do. Okay. A lot of pre-op, post-op. Since I'm in an EP lab, all the fellows and attendings do all the surgeries. The NPs do all the orders. And then it could work out, but I was in school to be an FNP family, so more general. But like we were talking about, I hated doing the ped stuff. Like I was in like an urgent care for one of my clinicals, and the ped stuff I was like, damn, no matter what I'm doing, they're gonna cry. So I don't even know if this is pain right now.
I'm helping they cry. I'm like, what do you want? I'm trying to. I'm leaving for you, dude. Yeah.
So let's go into Merce Gang. What's your purpose?
So basically, we're just trying to promote health and fitness through education and entertainment. Pretty simple. We do it through skits. We're on podcasts, obviously like this. We work with partners like NFL Alumni, who has a campaign called Tackle Obesity. So we're helping spread fitness through that realm. And it's really just, kind of opening awareness with that. But also it's from the aspect of, like we said, kind of our smaller populace, our niche male nurses. So I think it's cool to share our perspective and how we go about our health and our fitness, and make it entertaining as well. So.
Right. Doing our best to try to inspire everybody in general, but honestly, nurses as well, other nurses. And just because you're a nurse, and a lot of nurses do have a very busy schedule, that you can, have fitness side as well with the working. Just to inspire people to live a healthy life is one of the main goals as well.
Yeah, that's huge. How'd you guys get a part of the NFL Alumni?
So it was, like I said, we like to talk about health. Like it's not just like a facade, like generally. So I saw a post, and somebody was talking about, as controversial as it may be, that obesity is not a disease. For us as healthcare workers, it sounds hilarious. Yeah. But for people who are looking at it from a more like aesthetic approach or more of like a judgmental approach, they're like, it's not a disease. I'm healthy. I'm just like you and me, or just like you and I, right? So I hear what you guys are saying, right? So I comment, I'm like, I hear what you guys are saying, but no, medically, obesity is a disease. In fact, it's one of the greatest risk factors in other diseases. Like we learned about in nursing school, it's like literally listed with every disease. Yeah. It makes it worse, or it's a greater risk factor, right? So it's like, if you go into your patient record, and God forbid you're obese, you will see it listed there. It's a disease in itself. But that doesn't mean that you can't still, work out. It doesn't mean you should be judged, nothing like that. I'm not talking aesthetically. I'm not talking, judgmentally. I'm talking medically, right? And I guess the founder of Tackle Obesity, which is the campaign for NFL Alumni Network, he was talking about it as well. And then we just got to linking up, and he's like, hey, you guys should come and talk a little bit of fitness, from like, a young approach and from a medical approach about, obesity and its effects, especially as we see it in like ICU and urgent care, and how it affects long-term cardiac ICU and surgeries. So we were able to do that, and we have some more projects that we have coming up with him as well. So just blessed and honored to be a part of that. So.
Damn, That's like the power of social media, man. You just put yourself out there and you can never know who you're going to connect with.
It's wild. It's wild. Speaking of connect,
yeah,
you just got, when you talk about it?
I didn't get any of the stuff yet.
Do you want to say we can?
We can.
Congratulations.
Yeah. We got like
another
Fabletics partner. Yeah, Fabletics partner right here. Just waiting on the. Apparently, it's gonna be shipped in here tomorrow, and then I'll start making skits and stuff to show all the Fabletics scrubs because pretty dope stuff that they're putting out.
Skits about to be on 1,000. His skits are already hilarious, but now it's about to be a little bit crisper. I love it.
No, that's what I like, because like after you guys reached out to me, I started looking at all your stuff on your Instagrams. I was like, oh, this is the way to do it. And I don't know if you watch all the other things where I have like other fitness nurses on here, other people that are just funny, and then they're like, I like what you're doing with the memes and stuff, but you got to start putting your own face out there to start making your own brand. And for you guys, I see singularly, Danny, you're putting out a lot of stuff. I don't see what you doing out there, Todd. I don't see anything on your Instagram. Do I see that?
Right. Yeah. So I did recently have a hip surgery.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to recover back from that. I have a few videos that we do have in the back, but I want to be able to continue to make them how I want to before I start releasing them. So just trying to recover from that right now. I'm about 3 months out. So we're looking good, and we have a lot on the way.
Bouncing back. I love it.
So going back to Nurse Gang, so you want to show male nurses fitness and how it's like being a nurse. And what would be like your recommendations for just, the nursing schedule? Like, 3/12s, people think that that's amazing, right? Because you got 4 days off, but sometimes those 3/12s really kill you on the week, depending on how the shift goes. You might even help too many people with the turning and lifting. So what's your recommendation for, especially night shift people, the burnout of trying to stay fit and still doing your job as best as you can?
Touch on that.
So for me, I do work night shift, and I do work traditional 12s, which end up being 14s, but it's cool. Not mad. I'm taking the same approach. All right. I'm not going to burn myself out. Right. I have longevity. I got one body, got to make it last. I don't even work out typically on my work days. Right. So I'm off like 4 days. Sometimes I pick up extra. But which kind of transformed my fitness. I look at it as a weekly goal as opposed to like daily. I need this many macros. I need this workout. I need this weight. I'm looking at weekly. So weekly, I'm trying to have an effect on my body. And I know I want 4 workouts. Okay. I don't need 7 days a week. Like that's extra. Okay. I'm not trying to be Mr. Olympia. 4 days is enough. It's plenty, right? If you're hitting it hard. So, or 4 different occurrences of workouts. So if I do pick up extra and I'm working 4, even 5 days, then on my days off, I'll hit 2 a days. I'll go in the morning, go at night. So I just know I need to have 4 good workouts. I split it 2 upper body, 2 lower body, and do cardio twice a week. Right. So if we start looking at it from a weekly approach, I feel like that's more obtainable for people as opposed to being like, oh man, I was here for 16 hours, because things fluctuate. The clock in for 12, it ends up being 16, you know? So just approach it from a weekly approach, knowing I have to get these 4, and then noting where your meals are going to be at. I cannot stress it enough. You have to meal prep. Doesn't have to be a crazy like 30 meals prepared, but you have to have something where even if it's like a quick microwavable like chicken meal and some veggies, because coming off a 12, off a night specifically, you're tired, you're not resisting that bagel, that donut in the morning. You're just not. Okay. So you got to set yourself up for success. And part of that is being prepared with the meal prep. Right. So.
Right. And I would say it's kind of similar with me, but I'm on days. Right. So I would work about 3 12s. I work 12 as well. So 3 to 4 12s. And it's hard, like he said, especially if you work back-to-back days, to really fit in a workout. Because the mornings is, if you work the night before, you might have had a late night, you got to get up early. It's tough to squeeze it in. But the last day of work or the days that you have off, it is more so a weekly goal. Try to hit those muscle groups each week. If you put too much stress on the specific days and it's mixed in with your work, it can kind of discourage you. And it can, if you don't work out first, second time because of the work is involved in between, it might make you feel like, you can't do it or it's not for you. But it's really just about time management. And then the food comes in after that. Because if you're working out and your meals aren't there, or you're not even trying, with the food side, then it's almost kind of cancels each other out. So it does take a lot of effort for fitness because there's a lot of categories: food and sleep and working out. So mixing it in with your days off, and trying to have a weekly goal, like he said, is very important to not discourage yourself, burn yourself out. And if you picked up extra shifts or that week was a little hard, you can adjust your workout. It's okay to adjust it or take it a little slower or have a recovery day. Everyone's journey in life is different, and a fitness journey is different as well.
That's true.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, yeah.
No, go ahead.
That's true, because I was talking with I don't know if you guys follow him, Nico Saunders, official fit RN.
Yeah.
He
Good
says
guy.
the same thing. He's like, just have a weekly goal. It's meal prep, and if you can, try not to work out on the days you got work, because you're just burning yourself out for the next day, especially if you're working out. If you're working the next day, like, you're just not going to perform as well. Then you're not going to be happy with the workout, and then like you said, it's like wasting a workout, or you're just maintaining at that point. If you're going to that pizza party at work, like, you're just messing it all up.
That bonus
pizza party.
There you go.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I just want to be clear. Nurses, cool. Love y'all. We all have the smartwatches. Okay. That 8,000 or 10,000 step goal does not suffice for your workout.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of steps, but that is just your daily maintenance. All right.
Yes.
Love y'all. I know we're running up and down the floors. I get it, but that does not cover your workout. You still got to work on top of that. That's just enough to be like daily active, hit the bare minimum, stave off cardiovascular disease. Right. You still got to go in there and do, if you have fitness goals, you still got to go in there and do some more. Okay. So.
That's true. And then I was looking at some of your street medicine clips. So tell me, where is that?
Well, the location is up near DC area.
Okay.
So we'll try to pick different locations. We go to places that's kind of populated, or there's a few, locations they can go into. And we just hit the streets and street medicine and give them some medicine.
But we are looking to take it to different streets. We're talking with a few partners and potential partners to, kind of help us take it, a little bit more nationally, go to some other major cities, because, we want to see what other people think and know about health all around the nation. So
are you doing it like at like bar scenes and all that?
Exactly.
Just seeing what people say.
Exactly. After they got living a liquid courage, it is kind of challenging to answer some of these questions, especially, you have no medical background. So sometimes,
but some of these people surprise you.
Hey, they do.
No medical background, and liquid courage, and they're getting them right. So, and it's they're excited, they're smiling. There's people watching, and it just brings joy to that area of the street. So it's awesome. It really is.
We just recorded episode 3 last night, and I'm telling you, we had like the street like packed with people like, oh, can we talk next? And we want to try. So it was just awesome to see that growth, like, where it's come from since episode 1.
So you're just asking questions regarding like diseases or anything like that?
Yeah, exactly. So any questions that we can come up with, as well as, we're working with things with the NFL alumni with Tackle Obesity, so we could do some, some things for them as well. So there's a lot of directions we can go with it. But right now we're just asking the 5 questions to the civilians.
Yeah.
Do they get a prize for getting things right, or just being on camera?
Eventually,
yes, we're working on that. That's part of the partnerships that we're working on. But we do shout out their IGs and stuff like that as well.
I try to do that for them.
So that's dope. So is that going to be all on YouTube?
We are going to start using YouTube just to upload like the full videos, and then on our IG and the Merce Gang official IG will be like the 1-minute kind of teaser episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were doing the Instagram, but I think, we're going to do the full video, especially with the program, and cutting it down. We could do anything we wanted with it, honestly. So
appreciate that tip, coach. So,
so let's go into social media. How are you guys going to tackle social media and get your brand out there to everybody?
Right. You go ahead.
So me personally, and I'm by no means a pro, but kind of like we talked about fitness. If you're not setting yourself up for success, you can have the greatest plan in the world. Oh, I'm getting this gym membership and I'm getting all greens in my cupboards and my fridge. But if it's not something that's relatable to you and something you can do, it's not going to work. You're going to quit. So for me personally, just for my mentality, I like to tackle one space at a time. Does that mean I'm going to master YouTube? No, you never. But if I have a good starting with my following, I feel comfortable on this app. I know the ins and outs. I know the peak posting times and kind of how to integrate there. Then I'll start getting stronger in the next app, as opposed to like people, which is fine if it works for them, who just open up TikTok, IG all at once. Boom, I want to be famous on all of them at once. You know what I mean? So if that works for you, cool. You can reach different people at different times. But for me, it's kind of like I want to focus here, know this well, do good, help shift some of my following into the next app. And then I feel like that's kind of a little bit of a chain domino effect there. So
yeah. And as you can tell, he has a great plan. With me, with my situation, with having that surgery, it's a little different. But I do record and practice editing. So to have some videos ready. And my plan is basically as soon as I am clear to do some of the things I want to do, to start ramping out the videos, maybe 1 or 2 weekly. So we do have a plan that we're working towards currently. Yeah.
So Dad, question.
Yes.
You're recovering from surgery. How are you not taking advantage of the rehab process of documenting it as a nurse?
Right. So I am documenting a little bit.
Okay.
It's just trying to figure out how to be creative with it, because it really is a lot of tedious exercises like lateral raises and here and there you do something cool like acupuncture, things like that at the physical therapy, which is awesome and makes great content. So we're using a little bit of it, trying to document the journey of it to try to show people as best as I can.
No, because that's a huge thing. Like a lot of nurses, right? A lot of older nurses, mostly females, guys too. We get overweight, hips, knees start going after the years. You as a young nurse could be showing people how you don't let that happen to you over time. Like you got hurt early. You're not letting yourself go. You're staying fit. You're doing your thing. So I think you could be taking like full advantage of that.
Right.
Showing that off to everybody.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly what he told me as well. So we've been documenting a little bit and we'll put something together for the people. So.
And what made you guys go into this like entrepreneurial space?
So
yeah. So honestly, looking at that space, there's really no limit. So it's really what you make it. And if we put our mind to it, the goals that we can reach it's just, you can't imagine what you can reach. There's no, salary cap. There's no limits how many people you can work with, how many people you can inspire. So that's the main point for me with that.
So I actually had a little bit of a background in gaming, very short career. During my prereqs, not even nursing school. And a friend got me into a mobile shooting game. And within a couple of months, I ended up getting a sponsor, like a new streaming platform, and just took off. Like they were flying me out to LA, like things just I was like, wow, this is crazy. Some stuff I was just doing in the interim. And one thing they told me, I'm talking about, I had no training. Like I had no clue what I was doing. I barely had equipment. Lighting was horrible. Couldn't see my black face. It was terrible, right? But they enjoyed the content and it was fun. And I was really vibing with my audience. And they're like, what we like about you is that we can tell you genuinely enjoy what you're doing and all the rest will come. Like whether it takes years or decades or like right off the rip, the rest will come. But you can tell, if you see someone enough, you can tell if they're like, oh, I gotta, hit record again. Oh, whatever. Cool. Hey guys. And you don't mean it. No, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, that's something that I wanted to translate. And obviously we love fitness. Obviously we love nursing. So I'm like, I'm already doing this stuff. We're doing it. Might as well hit record. You know what I mean? Might as well share with the world. Might as well see where we can take it. because it's something we're doing and we enjoy. Right. So, you know, it's kind of easier in that route, even though it's, you know, hard editing, it's hard doing this stuff, you know, taking our time to do it, but it's in a space that we enjoy. So it's going to sustain itself. We're not going to burn out from it. So
I'm not gonna say you're not gonna burn out of it. This stuff is hard, man.
I believe it. I believe it. And if I believe it's not gonna burn out. And if I do, then I need to be compensated. Hey, you hear me?
No, that's true. Like once you start seeing some sort of monetization roll in, that's a little boost. And then obviously we were talking about off recording that using tools like AI and stuff will definitely help the workflow going, because like what we were talking about, these 12-hour shifts definitely take a toll. And if we're not making money right away off of the businesses, that means we're also taking up an extra shift just so we can fund the businesses. So no matter what, there's going to be some sort of exhaustion there, but as long as you got that end goal in mind, like you said, eventually, as long as you love what you're doing,
yeah,
it's going to come, you know, it's going to get to where you want it to go.
Yeah. And it's like you're saying that, you know, you can take a loss when it comes to time or even just investing in it. So I think it really is important that you enjoy like doing it, because it is a business. Can't forget it just because, you know, we're hanging out or we're doing something funny. It is still a business if you're looking at it as a business. So don't expect to become, you know, a famous streamer, record, like, you know, off the rip. You can't just expect that, you know. The same way if you open up a restaurant, you wouldn't expect to see revenue and dividends returned within the first year. Same kind of space here. Don't expect to, you know, blow up or start getting partners or start getting, you know, checks coming in first couple of years. It's also a business as well. So,
yeah, that's the tough part. And from what I'm seeing, from what you guys are doing, you guys are already like pretty much getting to where you need to go. You got Fabletics on you. You're with NFL alumni. It looks like you're getting more people on your guys' brand. And how are you guys doing that?
Yeah, so growing it, obviously releasing content, as well as trying to come up with new ideas to engage, as well as work with different companies and different groups of people that have the same vision or believe in the vision as us. So they'll kind of spread our content, which is very helpful, as well as another big one is while we are on the street, we do get a lot of social media, you know, trading off. They want to know about our Instagram, Merce Gang, about us. And after we interview them, you know, 8 out of 10 times, they'll sit there, ask us a question about us, why we started doing it. So, yeah.
I think what's, you know, all these tools that we can use to grow and understanding social media, like they're all important, but I think what kind of helps set us apart and something that I kind of try to live by, whether it's in social media, nursing, military, is that I do my best, obviously, you know, work hard, but not to say no to anything within reason, right? So, hey, we need someone to volunteer for this educational position. Would you go and give this briefing to new airmen? Sure, I'll do it. Next thing you know, I'm getting a stripe early. Hey, we need someone who to cover pediatric ICU. Next thing you know, I find another passion. You know what I mean? Hey, we're looking for someone to help with this podcast. Next thing you know, we have, you know what I mean? So these things that other people are like, I don't have time to do, or no, or it's boring. Like business at the end of the day, whether you're doing a restaurant or social media, is the art of understanding and connecting with people, right? You're trying to sell a product, you're trying to, you know, whatever, but it's people, right? So these connections that you make, I feel like are what help you get, you know, because of the time that we've been doing this, we haven't been doing it that long. So to have these connections this early, it shouldn't be this way. Like it really shouldn't be this way. So we're grateful for where we're at, but we also know it's because we're willing to try different things and work with people to the best of our ability. And I feel like when people see you have a good mission, you know, something genuine, and you really enjoy it, it's hard not to get behind it. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So. And another thing is every time, you know, we're on the street, people are surprised about the idea. They love the idea of us going around asking them medical questions. Like I said, people are smiling, laughing. So it does spread a lot of joy, and people are interested. And last night was amazing because a lot of people were kind of gravitating towards us as well. So that was awesome. So,
do people ask you guys questions why you guys became nurses?
Of course. They ask us, you know, why we became nurses, where do we work, our social media. So that's another big thing to, you know, have us expand.
do you think you guys are bringing in more potential males into the nursing field by just talking about this?
I think so. But it's not just the males that are interested. The females do love our content as well. Like female nurses love our content as well. I think it's a great balance right in between. It'll show the male nurses that it is okay to be a nurse and be a male and be not loud about it, but proud about it. And then the females love it because, you know, it's nursing content. We'd also do fitness. So if they're into fitness, they'll love that. It really touches everybody. And even if you're not a nurse, it can bring smiles to your face as well. Yeah,
of course. If you're on Danny's Instagram, the dude's half naked in every shot out here. Of course the females like it, right?
Listen, I got to get the fit and the nurse. All right. I give you nursing content. I give you fitness content. I'm not a liar. Okay. You know who I am. Like, you're going to get it. All right. I told you in the name. All right.
No, that's funny. I have to throw that out there. But that's really cool because, like, so for this, like we talked about it off stream, like this is showing the options in nursing that you don't have to be stuck to a floor. And for the first maybe 14 guests I had on here, all dudes, right? Just because the guys are more willing to talk about whatever we want to talk about, especially if it's within another guy. We're we pretty much just kicking it right now. That's what we're doing. We're just talking, hanging out, talking about something that we have in common. We're both nurses, and we could go anywhere from there. That's how this works. And I was also just talking with a previous guy that second time on here, what we were just talking about with business. He started a business off of his first podcast with me because a lot of people started following him. And now, since he's a work from home nurse, people guys started hitting this guy up being like, how do I do this? And then it instantly clicked for him. He was like, oh, I got a business model now. And then the episode that's coming out probably this Wednesday, the biggest thing was saying, your network is your net worth. And just because he was on this one episode and we didn't even have that many views on it because I switched everything to a different channel to this one that we're currently on. Still a lot of people hit him up. Now he has his little stand store. People are buying his programs and trying to figure it out. And now he's making some money off of it. So
that's beautiful.
It's awesome. Huge. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Good for him. Wow. That's awesome.
So I think that's the important part about it. Your network, whether it's people who are just supporting or people who you're partnered with, you just learn so much from them. You have connections from them, even, some of our partners are well, here's a social media coach who has 1 million followers. These are invaluable experiences. Stuff you just told us, that's invaluable. You know what I mean? So that helps jettison you quicker than just, grinding it out on your own, which is why the network and, not saying no, if you can help it is a beautiful thing.
And I feel what I was talking to you, the invaluable information that we give each other. I feel that's huge because I know a lot of people are so competitive and being hey man, if I give them too much, they're going to take my spot. In social media, I don't think so. Because I feel, for me at least, I don't care if you guys get bigger than me. If anything, when you guys get a podcast, I want to be a guest on it.
Come on. If you get big, we're getting big. We're coming with you, bro. Come on.
So that's I think, I don't want to sound sexist or something. I think it's a guy thing where you're a little bit more open to helping a little bit, not as much cattiness. And I'm probably going to get ripped in the comments for saying that, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's all right. So if you like Coke, you like drinking Coca-Cola, you can still like drinking Sunkist, right? You don't have to have just one, you know what I mean? You like watching ESPN, you still might like watching Disney, you know what I mean? So because someone's watching us, clicking on us, they can also watch you, you know what I mean? So I don't know why people, it's human nature, I guess. Yeah. But just because someone's promoted doesn't mean you're getting demoted. And if you have that mindset, you need to switch it up immediately because that is not a success model for anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you need people, you know what I mean? I hope you enjoy people. Not just need them, you enjoy people.
Especially if a nurse, we working with a lot of people.
But you need people to accelerate their growth. So it's if they're doing better, you're gonna do better, and vice versa. The stuff you bounce off each other, you need that iron sharpening iron. So why would you want to be if you're in a room and you're the best at everything, you got to leave that room.
100%.
You got to go another room so where you can learn some things. So you have to be able to humble yourself and be like, I'm not there. I want to be there, but I'm also happy for them where they're at. Now, how can I get like that? Like,
Exactly.
you know, so
It's huge. And other than you guys having Merce Gang as your main, I guess you could say, side hustle business, do you guys have any other side hustles going on as well?
Well, in the back alleys, no. I'm also it's called a tutor. I'm a tutor as well. So I've been tutoring for a couple of years. So it's still nurse related, but
yeah,
I tutor as well.
Yeah, majority of our time is either working. So I do have that neuro IMC job as well as part-time at the urgent care. So those are two my main sources, as well as fitness. So those four really take up a lot of my time, or those three take up a lot of my time, and those are my passions. So I'm just fine doing that and trying to better myself in those realms.
We might have to learn how to do some coin sliding like you, though, man. The coins work for themselves, man. You have to teach us.
Yeah, that's what you got to do if you want to. If we wanted to go to personal finance, that's like I'm a geek when it comes to that stuff. Like, obviously, you need money to make money, so that's why I'm asking you the entrepreneurial stuff. But before you get there, how's the pay in Virginia? You guys are like the DMV area, or just like Virginia? Definite, like mostly.
Yeah, right now we're like literally on the border of Virginia and DC. DC is a little bit better. DC, Maryland are like a little bit better, averaging like for a new grad, you can be hitting closer to 40, like 41. Whereas like Northern Virginia, you're looking at mid 30s, 35, 36. And the further south you go into like Central Virginia, it's more like 32 ish. Yeah. So
that's tough though.
We're not looking at Cali, New York rates, brother.
No, man. Like Cali, people laugh at the New York rates, and that's tough. And then
what are you guys averaging, like new grads and average nurse? What are you guys looking at?
Where's my phone? I could show you a little chart really quick. A new grad is making, give me 1 second here. A new grad at the hospital that I am making, and starting 2024, no experience, $116,000 a year.
Excuse me?
And then starting 2025, January 1st, they're going to be making 122.
That's insane. But also your cost of living, I feel like you get a broom closet for like $4,000 there.
Yeah, man. And then as your experience goes up, the pay goes up. So I'm working on, going to be on my 13th year. Once it hits January, my base salary will be $140K.
Awesome. That's awesome,
bro. That's crazy.
So that's what I'm saying.
Learned, man.
Well,
I hope so. Shoot, I wish I could get that Cali money where they're making that. And like, I don't know if you guys know, like Cali, they have labor laws, right? So if you sign up for, I might be getting this wrong, but I was talking with a few Cali nurses that if you sign up as a 8-hour shift nurse, right? So you're doing your 8-hour shifts, and then you say you'll stay for the 12-hour shift, the 4 hours, because you're staying after it, and that's not your shift. Even though it counts as overtime, instead of getting time and a half, they're going to give you double time.
Wow.
So if they're already making like
on top of
80 an hour, they're making like 160 an hour for those extra 4 hours. So a lot of the nurses choose 8-hour shifts as their time slot, part-time, so they don't have to do 40 hours. And they're still making like what I'm making as a part-timer just by staying as like the extra 4 hours. Those 4 hours, you end up making more than the 8 hours you're there. Wild.
Yeah, that's very smart to do, is staying part-time and picking up exactly when you want, and it fits best, and get you a little extra hours. And they pay extremely well over there. So that's awesome for them.
And because of that, isn't it harder to kind of break into like Cali nursing now? Like not gatekeeping, but like it's tougher because everyone's trying to like
recent
California
laws, especially. I don't know if you follow him, Jason from Nurses to Riches. They're pretty big on YouTube. He was from New York. They went to him and his wife went to California, and that's what he talks about. The money you could make out there in California, then you get the entrepreneurial spaces. As long as you're a nurse making money, like big money somehow with nursing or whatever you're doing outside, the dude's gonna reach out to you to be on his podcast. Like, so it's like one of those things where he literally goes down the breakdown of how much people could be making in nursing and why people should potentially look into nursing.
Yeah.
Because I always talk about it with people that come on here or ask questions like, what should I do with like a second degree if they're not liking what they're liking? Because obviously there's like accelerated programs that you get into nursing with 12, 16, 18 months.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like, what bachelorette degree can you make instantly 6 figures? Like, there is
fair
no
way to look at it. Yeah.
So that's big. And then like, if you're in New York or California, you're making bank out here. So but obviously you could still live paycheck to paycheck if you're not figuring out your own finances.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I'm hoping DMV area will start.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get up there with you guys. So.
It'll be nice to represent here. Like, Cali nurses are a beautiful thing. New York nurses, you guys are your own wild, wild west out there. But we want to hold it down for DMV. Give a little DMV representation.
So before we wrap this up, so for money, right? The DMV area, why do you guys do staff nursing instead of travel nursing? You guys got experience, so it's like, why not make a little bit of money?
I wouldn't say I'm opposed to it. It is something that I would look into. I don't have a reason why I haven't done it yet, honestly. It's still something I'm looking towards, and I just want to make sure it's the right decision for me. With family and you leaving. So a lot of things have to fall into place for me to just be able to travel and work and come back for however long my contract is. So hopefully we can get there and go to a few contracts and come back and collect a little bit of coin. So
especially for you, because I just interviewed another CRNA that'll be released in a few weeks. That for someone that wants to go to CRNA school, after you get your year experience and you go travel nursing for other ICUs, that counts as experience towards your interview process for CRNA school. So it's like, she was saying, why not travel the nation while making money while also applying for CRNA school? Because
exactly,
CRNA school, you don't know where you're going to get in. So you're going to end up potentially leaving the DMV area anyway. So might as well look at certain places that you might want to visit, might want to live for that 2-3 years that you're in school, and
make connections there.
Make connections there, and be cool with living by yourself for a hot minute.
Right.
And then when you could always come back.
Exactly. That's a great idea. And hopefully we I'll work towards that, starting this new job, get about a year into it and start traveling.
Yeah, man.
I think for me personally, I have like a year and a half left of MP school. I'm still going to probably want experience after that. So to start getting into travel while I'm focused in school, it kind of like doesn't make sense. By the time I start getting into traveling, I'm like, ready to put on the MP cap. And then, some of the side stuff we talked about doing as well. It's, I might as well just keep beefing up my resume. I have 2 ICU jobs. If I want to do local travel, I could do local travel as well. But I think just kind of, in this short period of time that I have, left as a staff nurse, it's important for me to kind of have my foundation. So
I'm going to say something. Dan, you're not leaving the DMV area, bro.
No?
Like, you're Nigerian. You got a big community out there, bro.
There's
you're not leaving.
Yeah, so my tribe is here. I will stay home.
No, it's funny because all my Nigerian friends in New York, pharmacies, doctors, nurses, they all bounce to the DMV area. They're just like, no, I just want to be with my people. I was like, what do you mean? Is that a big community out there? I was like, they're like, yeah. Like, I was like, dang, I did not know that until like they all just started leaving here. I'm like, what's in the DMV area? It's like, my people. I'm like, all right, so you're not coming back.
Yeah. You ever had jollof rice? They ever give you some jollof rice?
No,
it's
man.
Like the most famous rice of like West Africa. Like literally we debate over it, like friendly rivalry. Like Ghana thinks they have the best, Nigeria thinks they have the best, Sierra Leone. It's just like our ethnic rice dish. And we have a jollof festival that travels to the major cities like Chicago and everything. When it comes to DC, it's like an all-out war. Like there's like streets and like tents and everything. It's amazing. It's beautiful to see. But just seeing, the culture and the diversity within like West Africa, celebrating jollof and other things, it's awesome to see, and shows how big, the community is here. And like you said, when you talk with them, it's like, I'm a doctor. I'm a nurse, like all medical or maybe like a lawyer. So it's like,
Mm.
you know, it's the population out here. So
Yeah, that's true. That's what I know about those West African countries, especially Nigeria.
yeah.
It's like,
That's
well,
all.
you're already in. They're still gonna be mad at you if you only have a master's. You got to get your doctorate anyway, right?
They're never satisfied. Oh, is it my life or is it yours? Is it my life or is it yours? You know, so, just a master's. You don't want to be a doctor? No, be a doctor. Be a good boy. All right, bro, chill out. Fine. I'll do it for you.
And Dal, what's your background?
So I was born in Pakistan, but
Damn,
my
you look
family
Spanish
got
to me
raised-
for some reason, bro. For some reason, I thought you were.
Yeah, I
thought you were
get that all the time. I get that all
My
the
bad.
time.
My bad.
No, I get Spanish. I get everything. But yeah, I was born in Pakistan, raised by my family that lives in Uzbekistan. So I know only my Uzbekistan culture side, right? So I honestly, unlike him, I don't have many Uzbeks here besides really my family. But I do see, a lot of Pakis around here. There's it's very mixed here. So that's awesome. So yeah, just like his mom came here, my mom came here and brought me from Uzbekistan. So that's where I originate from.
And what's your religion?
So my family and me as well. We grew up Muslim.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you fast during Ramadan?
I did fast. I did fast.
Eid Mubarak, right?
Eid Mubarak. Yes, exactly.
There you
So it was a good Ramadan. Saw some family, spent some time with them, break our fast together. So that's always good to connect with family.
All right, before we go, now we went into that. How was doing work during Ramadan? You're fasting.
Right. So working while you're fasting, and my mom was doing it as well. It's honestly not too bad because you're so distracted and you kind of forget. Even with my mom, she was like, honestly, I don't have to worry about breakfast. I don't have to worry about lunch. It's kind of, obviously you get hungry here and there, and not having water is very tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's the toughest part, honestly, at least for me, is the no water. Food is fine. No water is tougher. But it's not as bad as you think. You do get thirsty. The hunger kind of just subsides, especially when you're doing 30 days.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't too bad. You definitely have to plan your fast, breaking your fast at the end of the shift, because that's very important. But a lot of different people have different experiences with the fast,
Yeah. Do you feel like it's almost like better to be working when you're fasting? Obviously that burns more calories, but like you're more distracted.
It's definitely a lot easier to fast. Some people especially kids, they're like, I'm just going to sleep all day and wake up at night. That doesn't really count as fasting because you're not awake. You're not actually suffering at all or making a sacrifice.
Yeah, because I have some coworkers that practice, and man, working with a bunch of like Filipinos and Indians where we always got food coming in, they were like, damn, I got to get out of this real quick. They just like walked around to the other side. They're like, I don't know, you guys are making it hard for me to practice right now.
Exactly. But then there's people on like Kyrie Irving that will be fasting and play his game and break his fast at halftime.
Insane.
So things like that are very inspiring. People like him, and not just him, but that's a great example of sacrificing, even though he's an athlete. He'll abstain from water. I don't know if they do IVs and stuff. That's not considered fasting if you get IVs over there, or liquids to hydrate. But no food and things, and he'll go out and play, and it's crazy. And
he had a big game.
Obviously, he's a testament of you don't have to have a meal to be able to perform, but I'm sure his recoveries, he does feel it. His body aches and things like that. But he's a great example of sacrificing for sure. All
right, guys. Dow, Danny, this was a lot of fun. We went over a lot of things here.
Yeah.
So if people want to get in contact with you, how would they get in contact with you guys?
So my Instagram is Daoud_Avaziv with the number 1.
And then my IG Instagram is FIT_nurse_Daniel. And then our collective Merce gang is Merce_gang. Gmail as well. If you want to have any business inquiries or looking for partnerships, will be mercegang@gmail.com.
And I'll put that all in the description down below. And lastly, for anyone that wants to get into nursing, what's your advice for them?
I would say,
yeah. Well, it depends. If you're a male, don't be discouraged that it's a female field. Females don't have to really worry about that too much. And honestly, a lot of people might come in your ear and say, oh, this is hard. Oh, this class was extremely hard. Just remember, everybody has their own experience with each class. And as long as you stay focused, it's very, very doable. A lot of people just kind of discourage themselves, and you have to have confidence that you can do it. Working as a team with your classmates is very important, which was very important for me. Using my resources was very important as well. And time management, not just for nurse school, but life, those are very important.
I would say definitely to not forget your why, right? Not trying to be cliche, but you cannot forget your why in nursing, because no matter whether it's a nursing school or being on the floor, you're going to face tough days. That's the nature of it. You're walking into a tough environment. You're walking into a patient's room on their worst day. You're hearing it from doctors above you. You're hearing it from patient family. It's going to be tough. And the check is probably not going to be compensatory to the effort. So you have to remember your purpose, whether it's legacy, even the financial freedom to have days off to go and start another business, or for whatever reason you're doing it. You have to remember that why, especially during nursing school, because doubt's going to creep in, right? Do I need this? I have my previous degree. Oh, I could have been this, right? So you have to know for sure you want to do it and why you're doing this, and that'll carry on throughout your career.
Yeah, that was great advice from both you guys. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. We went past an hour. I'm pretty sure I'll be inviting you back on here in a few months to see where you guys are at.
We appreciate you, brother, man. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you.